Taoist Magic Talk Show brought to you by Taoist Master จี师傅 and King Dragon Taoism ผู้亮天尊 Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. This is your G Sifu here. Today we're going to talk about some life topic so that you can get a better idea of how to live a life with Taoist wisdom. So I'm going to use no reference to any books and quote because you want to learn how to cook from a chef. The chef just teach you how to cook, not referencing from books. It's tasty when you actually taste it. So you got to be open-minded to accept the lesson in order to learn well. So be open-minded. Listen first, argue later. Okay, let's go. This show is actually for our disciples mainly. So if you want to learn, you can learn. But for our disciples, you're ordained and you might have this question in your mind. Some people might ask you, hey, how do you have happiness in life, right? Happiness. What is happiness? So here we go. Money cannot bring you happiness. It can, maybe for a while, but not for long. Materialistic stuff cannot bring you happiness. Sex, drugs, all these things, can it bring you happiness? No, it cannot. What about reading? It cannot. What about studying? It cannot. What about having some friends? It cannot. Nothing can bring you happiness. Eve, you don't know this secret. The secret is having vision. Vision as in what? Okay, let me explain to you in a very human way, okay? So, you are, I suppose you guys are all adults, right? So maybe you are 30s, something like that. Okay. So, if you look at the kids who are like under 10 years old, what they're doing, it seems like already, kind of too kiddo for you, right? Their vision is short. All they care is the kind of happiness that they have in front of them. You give them something they like, they're hyped, and then and they're happy for a while. And they don't really care about what's going on after the school life. And then you look at people who are in the teens, 12 years old and up, and they're like getting into their teens time, and all they can see is like school. They cannot really think about work. It's somehow like work have nothing to do with them. And then they get older, and all they see is about university and college. And they don't really see anything about work yet. Until they are graduated, most of the people are panicking because they cannot find a job. Well, what have you been doing all your life? Well, I'm trying to get a good grade. I'm trying to study. I'm trying to get better in school. For what? Right now, you don't even have a job. What are you doing? Right? So to you, them, it's like they're just blindly doing something, chasing for a goal that is for the right here, in front of them. But they cannot see what's next. So, okay, what about you guys who are working right now, in your 30s? You must be already having a job, right? I believe. So you have been working for a while. And, you look at the old people. They look at you and why are you trying so hard? Why do you look so heavy on money? The old people will say that to you, Why are you looking so heavy on money? Why do you have to work so hard to earn? When you retire, you can't use that much money. You only need, that much and you're well off. But, the problem with the old people right now, they don't know what they're doing. They want to go back to work because it's I have nothing to do. So you have been working so hard for the whole life, right? You think you're going happy, but when you are old, you're actually not happy. You might have your retirement plans all set up, money already, everything is ready. But when you're actually old, you don't have anything to do. You wake up, you're I need to go to work. No work? What am I doing? I'm just sitting home. Doing what? Well, watch TV, watch YouTube, do like, play some games. By then, what do I do? Well, where are my friends? Call my friends out? Okay. Call my friends to go for a drink, maybe. But what after that? Like it feels like you have nothing to go after for now, right? And then you're like, I don't know when I'm dying. Your friends keep dying. There are people dying around you, like your friends, your relatives. People keep dying, and you're like, oh, when's my turn? You don't know. And then you start to feel life is very hollow. It's like I've been working all my life, and now I'm like this. So you see the whole life, you're kind of not so happy. It's just that when you're younger, you have some like shorter vision. So you kind of don't see what's coming later. And then you're happy about what you have at the present. As you keep going, your vision expands because you mature. You can see further away and further away and further away. And then you kind of get more and more stressful and not so happy. Because it's like, like I got to chase for this, and then what? And then nothing, and then nothing. It feels like, it's, the whole life is about chasing something. And then at the end, you have nothing to chase for. And then it feels like life is just, why am I here? I mean, like, if I become a useless when I was like 40 years old and I just do the same thing and I die around 60, that's fine, right? Nothing's going to change for me. What's the difference between working so hard my whole life and then die at the age of 90 versus like not working at all and die at the age of 20s? Who cares? Come on. Like, you just suicide and die, and well, why do I have to work so hard? If I haven't, like, I have the choice of dying earlier, why do I have to work so hard? Yeah, I'm going to die anyway. I just try what I need to try. I play the game I like. I eat the food I like. I'm done enjoying here. I'm going. Bye-bye, like that. Why don't I do that? Okay, you know what? This is why you don't understand the way of, like, how to be happy. Because it's a vision issue. Because no one teach you this in school. No one actually talk about it in school because it is not a part of school's education stuff. So, for a Taoist, okay, the answer is very simple. We understand that life is not just like here and then you're done, you're dead and game over. That's it, Not like that. That is short vision. We have the wisdom and also the abilities to cultivate and understand the world beyond the visible one, beyond the physical dimensions. We know that there are other worlds, other stuff beyond what you can see. Okay, you look at, like, okay, for example, people got attacked by evil spirits. They got attacked by evil magic, right? Where do these evil things reside? There's other worlds. There are other worlds out there. These are where they are. Okay, you see, you got haunted by a ghost. Where does the ghost stay? There are other worlds where they stay. So when you're dead, there's also another world, another dimension that you go to, right? If you're a Taoist, you understand that the world is not just about this physical world. There are other things outside of this world. Okay? You use your whole life to prepare yourself to move on to the next dimension that you're going, to the next destination that you're going. Where are you going? Where are you going? What are you going to go through? Well, you guys are ordinary people, not a Taoist. I can't say that, oh, you're going to the Taoist heaven, right? But even for normal people, you got to understand, you don't just die and that's it. There are places for you to go, right? And the easiest, the most ideal destination is to go back to your spiritual planetary body and enter your own world when you're dead. You go back there and you enjoy the spiritual planet that you have been building the whole life. And you'll witness your own world right there as your next destination. So your whole life here, the ultimate goal, like as an ordinary person, should be building your own spiritual planetary body. You might say, oh, well, I never see it. I never see that thing. How can I know I'm working for something real? Okay, well, you cannot. right? You cannot witness it physically, like take a spaceship and stuff, right? But think about it this way, okay? The spiritual planetary body is something that will benefit you right now as well. If you work on it, you cultivate, you live a life with like this as a goal and you start cultivating, you will see the results coming right afterward, not just when you're dead. Not like, oh, when you die, you see it. No, you start doing better with what I'm teaching, right? You cultivate that spiritual planetary body. Next day, next month, you see your life getting better and better already. You see yourself getting more aligned. You see your life is getting more meaningful. Everything starts benefiting you right away and not just until you're dead. So, well, you know what? Like, take a chance, right? You want to try this out, you can try it out. Follow my teachings and do what I say and see it yourself, right? Even you're not my disciples, it will still benefit you if you understand these things, because it's basically what human beings can do to improve their life. And there are things that you have to avoid doing to damage your life so that the next day, the next month, so on, it's not going to be worsened. So now you understand we have an ultimate goal, right? So every stages in life, you got to see, is that linking to the next? And the next is that linking to the next. And the next is that linking to the one at the end. If they're not linked, like not related, then you don't have to do it. For example, you're going to school. For what? For graduating. Okay, graduating and then I can use that on a resume and get a job. Okay, so what's the job? What the job requires for the resume? What is, like, you set a goal first, right, for yourself. So, okay, I want to be an accountant. So, okay, that's the courses you need to take. Then the one that is not related, you don't need to be good at, then you don't have to take it, right? Or what are they requiring? They don't require like a perfect honor roll student. People with like, a B plus can also get there. So why do you have to work so hard to get the honor roll, right? Like, are you chasing for something just for the sake of chasing, or you're like actually needing it? If you don't need it, why do you have to spend extra time to do that instead of sparing that time for other things that might be needed? For example, sleeping, right? Like, there are people I know before that, they're like chasing for the highest mark in school, the best, the perfect, the A student, like the best one. They want to be on the honor roll, on the number one every year. And it's like they got it one year, they cannot let go. They need to have that again and again, like, crazy, right? I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but it's actually because of that person sacrificed other things in life and end up they have other issues. For example, health issues, social issue, right? Like, you don't know how to social with friends anymore because you're like all nerdy and spending all your time there. Or maybe you don't have enough sleep and you lack health. And then a very young stage, the person cannot even walk straight with a hunchback. And like, is that actually good? Are you going to fix that up like anytime soon? When you're in the middle age, you know how hard it is to fix your body. And because of all the studying in bad posture, sitting, right? Then she got pain all over the body. And it's like, when you are at my age, like 30s, 40s, you'll regret that because it's very hard to fix your body by that age. You can fix your body easily. Like, if I teach you some exercise, you can fix it up. When you're like 20s, it's very easy to fix your body up. But when you're at the 30s and 40s, it takes a lot of effort, a lot more effort and time to actually tune the body back. And then by then, you'll regret. Well, you want the honor roll, you want the best of the best, right? Then too bad, you sacrifice that. But do you need that? What is your goal in the next station, right? Okay, now let's say my goal is to become an accountant, okay? Okay, so you research on what does it take to be an accountant. You do anything that is related to that path, and you don't have to do anything that is not related. Okay, now you're a grown up, you become an accountant. Why are you working so hard to get better and better and better pay like money and such? Why are you working so hard for? For retirement. Okay, so how do you want to retire? How much do you want to have when you retire? Do you need to be a billionaire? Do you need to be like a millionaire? Do you need to live in a big mansion? Oh, you know what? When you're grown up, like, when you're young, you will say things like that is big. Oh, I need to have a big house, big mansion, big car. Anything you need, like, is best of the best, right? When you're old, you actually don't want that. Seriously, old people, what they want is an apartment. Because why? Carefree. You pay more money for the maintenance. People shovel the snow for you. You don't need to take care of that. And you're like, okay, I'll pay for someone to come clean up my house. I don't need to do that. Hey, that's nice, right? Why do I need such a big home when it's only me or me and my husband living in there? Right? It feels like I don't need that much space anymore. So, yeah, bigger home, for what? Show off? I don't care about show off when I'm old, right? So, yeah. You think about it this way. You always think about the step that is after what you're doing, then you can plan better in life. Now, sometimes you got to think a few more steps. So after you are dead, after you're old, how do you want to die? Do you want to die on a deathbed and like coughing like hell and almost dying, but you still cannot die, and you're like dragging on, and people like keep on doing surgery on you? I actually see some old people. They're like, they really should be killed, then just keep dragging. But you know what the Western medicine do? The Western doctor, they give you a lot of false hope and say, we can do this, and they keep doing surgery. Like, even you do so many surgery, is that like a point? Like, are they actually living a life? The whole 5 years on the bed, non-stop, being cut open, numb, cut open, put to sleep, cut open, and then poke needles. You're like a rat. You're like a science experiment. They're using you as an experiment, testing to see how much they can do to keep you alive. But are you actually living a life? You feel like you're just a tool being used on the bed, but you cannot die yet. It feels like that, right? Do you want to die, or do you want to live? Or do you want to die that way? I don't want to die that way. How do I want to die? Well, I want to die like, when I know I'm dying, I can prepare everyone that I need to prepare for, and then set everything, everyone else, they know I'm going and they are ready, and I just go to sleep and I go, and there you go. That's the best way to die. You go to sleep, painless. Boom, you don't wake up anymore, right? And then you transition to the next world. Okay, now let's move one step further away. What happened afterward? As a normal person, you don't know, and you cannot really touch that part. But if you become a Taoist, you can touch that part before you die. Yeah. Like, if you cultivate more and more, you see things, right? You have witnessed more things. Like, for us, we can see the other worlds. We can see the dead people, the ghosts and stuff like that. You know more about the other worlds. You know how you're going to be later on. When you can understand that world more, then you know how to prepare yourself all the way from now to then. So, is that a true happiness? I believe so. You're always going to be happy when you know that you're all set and ready for the next station, the next goal. And you know that your goal can be achieved, and you're happy, right? So if you can only achieve some short-term goals, later on you're not happy. Like, now I'm happy, but later on I'm not happy again, and I keep having to like restart my whole project to get more happiness. And you're like, you get exhausted because you keep trying to find things to make yourself happy while you're like, okay, I'm happy now, and then I'm not happy again, like that. But if you know this wisdom that I'm talking about today, hey, your whole life, you have a direction to go for, and you're always doing things like one after another that leads to the end goal of life. So you're all good until like you're in the next world, and then on the next trip, and so on. That's what we call the true happiness. Understanding yourself, what you're going after, what are you going for, and then why all the different stages in life. if you can link up all the stages and understand that you're like all prepared for the next stage. Like, when you're in school, you're preparing for work. When you're at work, how you prepare for retirement. When you're retired, you're prepared for how you die. Like everything is all well planned and you're like just working toward it. It feels like you keep having non-stop achievement in life that builds on top of each other instead of like you finish one and then you have to build from zero again. You're like accumulating things for the whole life for the next journey. That's what we call the true way of happiness, because your success and achievement is accumulative and not like just a short-term thing that makes you hype right now and then you're like not hype again, like that kind of like small happiness. You can say some small happiness is okay because it helps you to go for the next goal, the next big goal. It's okay to have those things. But if they don't link up with the next thing, like if you don't have an idea what the next thing is and you just look at what's in front of you, you're never going to be happy. The vision brings you happiness. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.